everybody. Welcome to Alfred E. Thompson Stadium here at Fritz Orr Field with your Westminster Wildcats. The Lacrosse varsity team is taking on the Allatoona Buccaneers in the Region 5A Area 2 Championship. Hello, everybody. I'm Ben Portion, joined alongside with Ryan Costa. And your score now is 1-1, 6-0-1 left to go in the first quarter. Just to pardon for not getting on the air in time, but just to recap really quickly, Jack Patton from your Westminster Wildcats put it in the back of the net. Start off the game here, and Allatoona responding quickly with number 21, Trevor Stewart. And Stewart ties this game up here at 1-1. And just an incredible matchup here today. Cats second in 5A Area 2 and Allatoona 1. So both teams are absolutely incredible, and we have some great lacrosse lined up for you today. And Bennett, one of the things we've seen so far in this game is a lot of up and down lacrosse. A lot of people, a lot of balls on the ground, a lot of guys are running a lot. Allatoona controlled very impressively that first possession, but Jack Pat with a beautiful shot. And then Trevor Stewart answered just above the helmet of Tyler Bass. So expect a great game here today. Zimbardo working up the far side. He takes a shot, but Rain Schamberger's there with great defense. Grant Ansley on the chase, but they're not going to give it to him. Ben Galloway reaching a stick just a little bit further out. Cats fans not happy with that call, as it seems Grant Ansley with the long pole was just closer to that one. Johnson back behind the net at X. Trevor Glowry playing defense. Johnson driving. He's picked up by Ollie Bogus, and that great double team is going to thwart that attack. Ball comes into offense on Westminster's attack side of things, and Jack Patton is able to retain possession. Now try and get a fast break set up here for the Cats. Patton gets inside. He goes to the ground, though, and there's a penalty flag being thrown as Patton went to the ground. And really an impressive play there by Jack Patton, able to bring it up the right side, sort of back into the middle with his left hand, and able to take that hit. And it looks like Westminster's going to go up. One man, 6-on-5 for 30 seconds here. A great opportunity for the Wildcats to get a go-ahead goal. So the penalty flag is thrown. Cats are going to be man up here. I'm assuming they're going to call a cross-check to the head. As number 6, Austin Zimbardo, goes to the box. Cats on offense. Try and go back up here. 4:50 left to go in this first quarter. Devereaux over to Fitzharris. Fitzharris to Patton. Patton back to Fitzharris. Cats working around up top and being very patient with it. Patton back to Devereaux up top. It's like a 3-3 extra man formation, and they're going to switch now. Chase Williams takes a shot that just goes right over the top crossbar. Williams was absolutely lights out last week. 5 goals. Pardon me, that would still be this week, this past Tuesday. 5 goals against Westminster's comeback from behind win versus GAC. And Chase Williams is checked there. And Williams gets back on defense, puts a body on him, but that ball is still up in the air. And that deep ball from Allatoona came all the way from his side of the field, took a shot, but they look like they're going to wave it off. No goal after the crease violation. Yeah, we saw no hesitation there from the officials. The flag flew immediately as it looked like. Yeah, now there's the official signal. No goal. So in the crease violation. That was number 35, Grigley Wright, coming all the way from his own side of things to put that one in the back of the net. However, after decking number 2 in goal, we're on Westminster Wildcat Jr., Tyler Bass. They're going to call a crease violation on him. However, at the same time, another penalty flag was thrown for Ollie Bogus to go to the penalty box. I'm not quite sure what they called him on, as we were busy working on if it was a goal or not. However, Ollie Bogus is in the penalty box. It looks to be a 30-second penalty. So Cats man down here on defense, and Allatoona with the ball.
Trevor Stewart, number 21, a guy for Allatoona with a lot of speed. Expect to see him dodging a lot from the top today, as Rain Schamberger is going to challenge.
Ball's on the ground, picked up though. Cats playing remarkable defense. That's number 3, Ben Galloway on the 3, saved by Tyler Bass. And Chase Williams gets the ground ball, looks to head back the other way. So Cats get out of the man-down situation. And with a good clear here from Chase Williams, Cats will be back on attack. David Vroon and Henry Parker coming on for the Cats, as Devereaux has the ball on the far side, going back behind the net.
A great defense there by Truman Jones, able to run all the way across the field, block a shot, and then disrupt the ground ball and get a great clear for the Wildcats as Patton controls.
Parker up top. Parker thinks about a shot, passes it back over to Farley. Farley over to Fitzharris. Cody Fitzharris with the ball. Great defense there from Palmer Fields. Ball's on the ground. Farley fighting for it. And a great pickup there from number 2, Cameron Carter by Allatoona. Carter still with the ball, but that is 3 Wildcats all over him.
It looks like they got a timeout, Allatoona. Impressive job by Allatoona's coaching staff. They're able to get that timeout into the official's ear before they push out of bounds. There was a whole swarm of Wildcats on the defensive there. 2:17 remaining, Bennett. We've got a great one going so far.
Cats. Your Westminster Wildcats tied up here with the Allatoona Buccaneers. It's Alfred E. Thompson Stadium, Fritz Orr Field. Just such a remarkable day for some lacrosse. And the Georgia 5A Region Championship in the second area of 5A. Cats playing the Allatoona Buccaneers, and the Buccaneers ranked 2nd in the state. Cats ranked 5th in the state. Cats are 12-2 right now. It was such an incredible season, Ryan.
Yeah, and we've gotten to do 2 of their games the last week, but we saw an incredible victory over Macaulay. Just an overall great display. Westminster's attack, especially number 13, junior Jack Patton, was on display that day. And then Tuesday, we saw something we didn't expect. We saw some challenge from the GAC Spartans in a way that we did not expect them to come out and challenge the Wildcats, but can't say enough about Chase Williams those last 2.5 minutes. 4 or 5 goals down the stretch. Some incredible defense, some great saves by Tyler Bass, and a 15-13 come from behind victory over the Spartans.
So after that timeout from Allatoona, the Buccaneers are going to have the ball on their own side. And that's Brooks Gillum with the ball. Ben Walker playing defense. Gillum puts a little move, but Walker's able to recover. Gillum picked up by Rain Schamberger. Now this double team is going to put the Buccaneers in a sticky situation. Ball on the ground, but great pickup there by number 21, Trevor Stewart. Stewart back behind the goal, and he's over to Carson Sorrells. Sorrells working on Truman. And that's a low-to-high shot from Ben Galloway that finds the back of the net. Galloway was left all alone in a little bubble within the Westminster defense. He's able to get a good look on Tyler Bass that finds the back of the net.
Yeah, Ben Galloway, great low to high shot there. Some good defense there by the Wildcats, but unable to pick up Galloway sitting in the middle. And not much you can do there as Tyler Bass when it's that wide open.
It's a windy day, as you can hear out here at Alfred E. Thompson Stadium, Fritz Orr Field. We pardon for any sort of wind noise coming into your computer that might give you all some bad noises. Anyways, going back the other way, Allatoona wins the face-off again. Buccaneers have been very, very good in the face-off circle. So after that possession win, Brooks Gillum has the ball. Gillum on the far side, fakes a shot over here. Gillum still with the ball. He's working on Chase Williams. He goes low to low, and that is just wide left.
There's a flag down here, Bennett, so looks like we're going to have a cross-check.
They're going to call it on Rue Usi, who gave a cross-check right before coming off after the face-off and get-off. Cats will be man down here and bring on that fifth pole in Grant Ansley. Fourth pole in Grant Ansley, and they'll leave on Trevor Glogly as the lone midfielder. Ball on the far side. That's going to be a rip that hits pipe. And Tyler Bass able to pick it up. That was number 9, Damian Hinton. Had a pretty good look at that one. Trevor Glogly going back the other way. That's Trevor Stewart, stride for stride with him, but Glogly able to toss it off to Devereaux, and Devereaux going to run this one up close to the midfield line and try and run the rest of this penalty out for the Cats. Devereaux with the ball on the far side. He thinks about something, gets the ball over to Patton. Patton takes a shot, and that one's in the back of the net. Jack Patton with his second goal of the day ties this game up with about 14.3 seconds left to go in this first quarter.
What an unbelievable shot by Jack Patton. He actually used the top side pressure to his advantage there, felt the pressure instead of turning away from it, went into it, used it as a screen, found the top corner of the net, and tied the game at 2. Really an impressive job by Westminster's offense there.
Ryan Schamberger been taking about half of the face-offs today as number 5, Danny Tesler from Allatoona, is absolutely lights out in the face-off circle. So Coach Souza going with his big guns, and Ryan Schamberger, the Duke commit, to try and see if he can win this. Ball's on the ground. Ben Walker comes flying in, not able to pick it up. Ball's still in the air, and it looks to be in Ryan Schamberger's stick on the far side. Schamberger going to wind up. Schamberger's now in the middle. That ball's on the ground. He picks it up. However, the refs are going to call a penalty flag on that. Most likely going to be a slash after number 33, Trent Thomas, winds up a little bit too much on that one.
Yeah, that's the end of the first quarter, Bennett. We'll see what that call was right at the buzzer. Really a great play by Ryan Schamberger, not giving up on that ground ball. And they do call a 1-minute slashing penalty, so Westminster will have the first minute of this second quarter with their extra man offense on the field.
Game tied up 2-2 here at Alfred E. Thompson Stadium, Fritz Orr Field. That's the end of the first quarter. Cats look to win this one to have great seeding going into the playoffs. This is for the 1 seed. And Cats looking to make another run at the state championship after last year's win over Lovett. So Cats 13-2 on the season. It's been an incredible ride to get here. Only 2 losses coming in 1-point games. Back on April 2nd to Lambert, Cats lost 1. And if you ask any Westminster lacrosse person on this field, they say they could have had that one after 10-plus hit pipe. Second loss came back on March 19th to Pope High School. That was also another 1-point game. 8-9. Pope a 6A school, also Lambert a 6A school. So Cats hanging in with the big guns as Cats are now ranked 5th in the state and look to show everyone they're first in the state on their quest for a state championship. Cats with the ball and the man-up opportunity. Fitzharris with the ball on the far side, over to Patton. Patton to Fitzharris. Fitzharris to Devereaux. Chase Williams thinks about a shot. Back to Fitzharris behind the goal. Patton thinks about a shot. Over to Devereaux. Devereaux to Williams. Williams takes a shot, and that one's in the back of the net with the penalty flag. Chase Williams with the incredible goal.
And we've seen shots just like that. We saw about 4 of them on Tuesday night, Bennett. What an unbelievable play by Chase Williams. Saw the top right corner, saw the contact coming, put it in the net, and drew the flag. Great exchange by number 21 in white.
Williams able to just find the little bit of area between the goalie and the far pipe. Williams puts it in the back of the net, and Cats are still man up. Number 18, Mike Johnson, the senior midi, came a little bit too hard on the slide and put a body on Chase Williams as he put it in the back of the net. Fitzharris over to Devereaux, Farley to Chase. Farley over to Devereaux, over to Fitzharris on the far side. Patton thinks about a shot and gets it over to Devereaux. Devereaux over to Farley to Williams. Williams thinks about something again, right over where his last one came from. And that's back to Devereaux. Devereaux over to Patton. And that's behind the net shot from Will Fitzharris. Williams able to put a great body on his defender and get that ground ball. Devereaux from up top. He's going to drive, take a shot, and that's straight into the goalie's hands. That's number 16, Jay Melander, in goal. He's a senior goalie.
Chase Williams playing some very physical midfield right now. It's a great asset to have for Coach Tony Souza, as right now Westminster still a man up as Hinton tries to slow it down.
And we're all square here. Back to 6-on-6. And the Buccaneers have the ball, working around their attack. Brooks Gillum on the far side on Williams. Ball's over here to Hinton. Hinton to Tesler. Tesler working on Farley. Farley puts a great check on him, and that thwarts Tesler's attack. And Allatoona forced to restart and swing it around, using a little bit of patience here to find a hole in Westminster's defense. The Cats not give him that hole. And Tesler's going to come off for Zimbato. That's a shot from up top that is not anywhere close after a great check from Chase Williams. Took all the pressure off that shot as the shot went straight into the ground. Zimbato. Over to Ben Galloway. Ben Galloway takes a sidearm shot that finds the back of the net. Game is tied up here 3-3.
And that is the second low to high incredible shot by senior Ben Galloway. He has shown so far today his ability to catch and shoot, put it in the top corner of the net. As it looks like Ruyusi is going to take over faceoff duties for Rain Schamberger on this one.
Rain's on the near side here. Trevor Gologli to Rue's left. Pardon me, his right. And Rue going to try and win this one for the Cats. Fighting for that one in the middle. It's anyone's game right now, and that ball is flicked back. And that is picked up by Cameron Carter. Truman Jones thought he had a shot at it, but Carter able to pick it up anyways. On the far side, that's Carson Sorrells. Sorrells over to Danny Tesler. Tesler takes a shot, and that one finds the top right corner. Tyler Bass not able to get to that one as the Buccaneers go up 4-3 here with 9:14 left to go in the second quarter.
And what a shot there by number 5, Danny Tesler. He's a face-off specialist, but has a cannon of a shot all the way out by the blue box line there, able to find the top corner of the net. And with 9:14 left, give the Buccaneers a lead. And the momentum starts to shift in the direction of Allatoona.
Usi in the face-off circle. Danny Tesler has been a force to be reckoned with against Usi. Usi able to get this clamp, flicks it back, and That is John Farley, comes over from the far side. He gets a check at the ball, but ends up finding Danny Tesler's legs instead as Tesler goes to the ground. And the Buccaneers retain possession. Austin Zimbato here on the near side. And Parker Cockrell comes on with the ball. Cockrell over to Souls. And Truman Jones out here to defend him. Souls from up top. He's going to think about dodging.
Truman Jones
just going to put a body on him.
Truman Jones appears to want number 22, Cameron Souls, to go to his left. Souls instead gives it off.
And Cockrell gets this one back to Galloway. Cockrell on the near side. Cockrell over to Tesler. Pardon me, that's not Tesler, that's Zimbato. Zimbato to Galloway. Cockrell with the ball. Cockrell dodges from up top. Tries to drive in, but nothing happens. Ball finds the ground. Ball's up in the air for anyone to grab, and that's Trevor Galogli that comes out with it. And Galogli going to work up the near side. Galogli over to Devereaux. Devereaux takes a monster shot, but completely legal, and Devereaux backs off. Over to Fitzharris and to Farley. Cats on the attack now. Farley over to Fitzharris. Pardon me, Patton to Fitzharris. Ball back to Patton on the far side. Patton going to drive. Patton finds Vroon on the crease, but Vroon not able to retain that one. And that one is a pass, so out on the Cats. And the Buccaneers have the ball as Palmer Fields gets it to his goalie. And Zimbato tries to get it over to Ben Galloway, but that was great defense there from the long stick midi. Sam Woodhouse that caused that one to go out of bounds. And Cats have possession. Chase Williams thinks about dodging from up top, but Allatoona slides. Keep from doing so. Henry Parker with the ball. All the way over to Williams. Williams back to Vroon. Vroon from up top. He makes his defender fall, takes a shot at it. And that finds the goalie's legs, Jay Melander. And Allatoona able to pick up the rebound with Austin Zimbato going back the other way for the Buccaneers. Zimbato worked on Chase Williams. Chase Williams puts a great body on him and slows down that fast break. Trevor Stewart, the ball for the Buccaneers. Cats down one, 4-3 to the Allatoona Buccaneers. 6:24 left to go in this second quarter. And a hard-fought match here for the region championship.
Yeah, some great play on both sides so far, Bennett. We've seen Allatoona with a very balanced attack thus far, and Westminster not playing too aggressively on defense. That's Chase Williams defense from behind.
Brooks Gillum from behind. Chase Williams on defense. Gillum gets a little stutter step, fakes the pass, but Williams still with him step for step. Carson Sorrells from up top. Ben Walker comes out to play defense. And now he's picked up by Truman Jones. Jones putting the great body on Sorrells. Sorrells takes a shot that's saved by Tyler Bass. And Bass keeps this game a 1-point game as Williams brings it down for the Cats. Jack Patton finds his opening. He's pushed to the ground. Great check there. Whistle's blown. That's Coach Tony Souza calling a timeout. Cats down one here to Allatoona Buccaneers. 4-3. Alfred E. Thompson Stadium, Fitzgerald Field, with about 5:26 left to go in this second quarter. And the Cats look to win this one to get good seeding, get the number 1 seed going into the state playoffs.
Yeah, that number 1 seed's a big deal, getting to play at home the majority of the playoffs. Get the fans here at Fitzgerald Field. And Coach Tony Souza right now with a chance. Just under 5.5 minutes, Bennett, remaining in this first half. Expect to see the ball work around the outside a little bit, take a little bit of the time off the clock. But either a dodge, I would assume either a dodge from the top or from X, or something for Patton or Devereaux on a wing would be expected in this situation.
Coach Souza drawing up a play here for the Cats. Cats trap back on attack. Waiting to get things started.
Looks like David Vroon, the shifty sophomore, going to start with it to the goalie's right. And work it up to Devereaux.
Pateras with the ball at X. Pateras working up the far side. Pateras over to Parker. Parker up top, over to Devereaux. Devereaux thinks about a dodge, finds himself some space, goes low to low, that just misses right. However, Jack Patton is there on the chase for the Cats. Patton working from the far side. Patton over to Parker. Parker takes a shot, misses just left. However, Fitzharris is there on the chase. Cats still down one here, 4-3, 4:28 left to go in the second quarter. Fitzharris over to Vroon. Vroon up top. Vroon dodges. Gets a little open space, but he's picked up on the great side there from Parker Fields. Fitzharris over to Patton. Patton takes a shot that bounces off the defender. And Vroon going to chase this one down for the Cats.
Bennett approaching 4 minutes remaining in this first half. A good balanced attack here from the Wildcats as David Vroon tries to go from the right side.
Parker up top. He takes a shot, but gets it over to Patton in time. Patton to Devereaux. Devereaux takes a shot. And that one finds the back of the net. Cats tie this one up here, 4-4 with 3:50 left to go in this second quarter. That was an amazing passing around with awesome patience. And Devereaux able to put that one in the back of the net.
Yeah, some great patience there. Devereaux doesn't take too much time once that ball's in his stick, puts it in the bottom corner. And the Cats tie it up, 4-4.
Usi on the face-off. Max Coffin on his far side. Chase Williams to the near side. Usi fighting hard for this one. That's picked up by Danny Tesler. Tesler hits the ground. Ball comes out of his stick, and Chase Williams gets the ground ball. Williams pulls this one in the Cats area for the Cats. That ball is just flicked back in after Trent Thomas was picked up by a number of Cats defenders. And that is a high shot there from Danny Tesler.
It looks like we're going to have a conduct call there. Number 33, Trent Thomas, did not like the amount of contact to his shoulder and neck area. He may have had a point there, Bennett, but nonetheless, the ref calls conduct on Allatoona, and Westminster gets the ball back with 3:26 remaining in the second quarter.
In defense of Thomas was put in a rough situation as he was checked into the Cats bench, so obviously wanting to defend himself in front of a number of Cats defenders. Nonetheless, Cats have the ball here. Game's tied up 4-4 with about 3:09 left to go. And there's a timeout from Coach Tony Souza. And Cats are going to talk it over here with the ball. Tied up 4-4 here versus the Allatoona Buccaneers. 3:08 left to go in this second quarter.
Yeah, crucial time right now for the Westminster Wildcats to try to get some momentum going before this halftime. It's been a great game so far. This looks like an Allatoona coach is going to talk things over with the officials a little bit. I would suspect about the contact to Thomas's head area. Nonetheless, Westminster in a timeout right now. Tony Souza, no doubt conferring with his attack about how to best possess the ball and get one in the back of the net, try to get some momentum for the Wildcats. It looks like Bennett David Vroon is going to give it off to Fitzharris to start it up.
And Patton has the ball at X. Farley with the ball. Back behind the net. Cats looking to run a play. Coach Tony Souza yelling at his offense, making sure everything runs to plan here. Farley dodges from X over to Devereaux, and that is just out of the reach of his stick. That ball rolls into this Allatoona attack. And that is Carson Sorrells fighting for it on the far side. However, the ref is going to blow a whistle here and slow this one down. However, the Buccaneers still have the ball. Sorrells on the far side. That is back to Galloway. No one back playing on Galloway. Max Coffin standing right behind his goalie, Tyler Bass.
Galloway very patient right now. This Buccaneers offense trying to figure out what's going on. Westminster playing some great defense, holding Allatoona at bay as Hinton now controls at X.
Hinton, he's played by Ollie Bogus. Hinton trying to find someone cutting in the middle, and he finds Danny Tesler instead. Ball's on the ground. Farley comes up to try and pick it up, but Tesler able to get his own drop ball. Galloway with the ball at X. Galloway working on Coffin. Coffin putting a great body on him. Galloway takes a shot, but that is saved by Tyler Bass. Ball on the ground. Bass coming way out of the goal to try and get to that one. Two bodies hit the floor. It's Lane Schamberger and Danny Tesler fall to the ground. Ball rolls out of bounds, and they're going to call it Cats ball.
Yeah, the Allatoona fan base is very, very unhappy with that call, but nonetheless, Rain Schamberger, the talented Duke commit, appears with 1:15 left, try to slowly clear this. Potentially use some time up, try to not give Allatoona the ball back before this half ends. 1 minute left as John Farley touches it into the box.
Devereaux with the ball to Patton. Patton over to Williams. Williams back to Farley. Farley over to Vroon. And Cats just working the ball up around here. Williams back to Devereaux. Devereaux to X. He gets a good pick from David Vroon, but that's incredible defense by the Buccaneers that slows down Devereaux.
Under 30 now. Bennett Westminster's going to want to look for something, try to get this lead before the half ends, as Devereaux is going to go a little bit to his left.
Devereaux still working, trying to make something happen. He finds Vroon back behind the net, but he's picked up quickly by Michael Romans. Patton. That's Farley in the middle after a great pass there from Will Fitzharris. Farley on the backdoor cut that finds the back of the net. And Cats go up one score here with 9.7 seconds left to go in the second quarter. And the Cats look like they're going to take a lead going into halftime.
Yeah, an overall great passing possession by the Westminster Wildcats. It was very simple. David Vroon got it, gave it to Will Fitzharris, who found John Farley cutting straight towards the net, who was able to put it away. And Rain Schamberger going to try to combat Tesla with 9.7 seconds remaining in this first half.
Schamberger just looking down to slow Tesla down as much as possible, if not get possession. And that's Rain Schamberger who's going to end up with that ball. He's going to take a shot that just misses wide left. However, Fitzharris on the chase. Cats have 3.2 seconds left to go to put one in the back of the net. Patton. Oh, and that ball. Patton looks to find someone in the middle, but no one there except Rain Schamberger.
Good defense by Trevor Stewart. They're able to get a stick on the stick of Rain Schamberger to prevent another Wildcats goal. But nevertheless, a great finish to the half of the Westminster Wildcats and a 5-4 lead at the break against arguably two of the best teams in the state, Bennett. We've got a great one here this afternoon.
Alfred Thompson Stadium, Fritz Orr Field. Location of your Cats. Westminster Wildcats taking on the Allatoona Buccaneers. Cats go into the halftime up 5-4. We're going to take a break here for about 10 minutes, and we'll be back with y'all to cover second half action. Till then, go Cats.
Welcome back to Alfred Thompson Stadium, Fritz Orr Field, where the Westminster Wildcats lead the Allatoona Buccaneers 5-4 as we begin second half and third quarter action. Ryan Costley, Bennett Porson is going to be rejoining us shortly as Rain Schamberger steps out to take the opening faceoff of the second half for Westminster. He, in the faceoff circle, is facing Danny Tessler, who has been incredible thus far today. And with that, we welcome Bennett back in.
Tessler lays it off to Cameron Carter, and Carter gets it back to Ben Galloway. Galloway has 2 today. The Cats have 4 deep holes on the field. Schamberger, Ollie Bogus, Grant Ansley, and Truman Jones all on the field with long sticks. Danny Tessler on the far side gets it over to Hinton. Hinton thinks about a shot but lays off. Hinton back to Galloway. Galloway from X. He's working on Grant Ansley. Ansley as Allatoona retains possession. Trevor Stewart on the near side. He gets it over to Brooks Gillum. And Cats are up 1-0 here. 5-4, 10:57 left to go in this third quarter. Ben Galloway over to Trevor Stewart. Schamberger inching closer, however, he gives it off to Galloway. Galloway over to Hinton. Hinton working on Bogus. That's over to Tessler. Tessler to Sorrells. Sorrells dodging from up top. He takes a shot, but that doesn't have much power on it. On the chase is Damian Hinton. Allatoona retains possession.
Truman Jones guarding Sorrells today has wanted to give him his left side as Bogus combats Hinton to pass his right.
Tessler up top working on Farley. Tessler dodges. Farley stays right with him, and he lays it off to Sorrells. Sorrells over to Hinton. Hinton thinks about getting it inside to Stewart, but just lays it off to Sorrells instead.
Sorrells going to his left now. Bennett. Truman Jones really played a great game thus far today. Putting a lot of pressure on number 22, Sorrells.
Stewart with the ball. Rain Schamberger staying there with him step for step. Stewart has been relatively quiet today as Duke commit number 8, Rain Schamberger, has stayed with him. However, Trevor Stewart gets a little time and space there, takes a shot that just goes over the top crossbar. Allatoona still on the chase. Truman Jones checks this one, and ball's on the ground. Tyler Bass able to reach over and pick up the ground ball, and Cats are going to work to clear this one. Ansley over to Schamberger in the middle. Schamberger back to Jones. Truman Jones back to Schamberger. Schamberger working up the middle. Over to the far side to Ollie Bogus. Trevor Glogley stays back. And Cats successfully clear that one. On for the Cats, number 9, Henry Parker. Number 33, David Vroon. And John Farley going to come off as that last midi. And Cats are going to completely shift their midi line. Patton from behind sees Henry Parker, and Parker puts that one in the back of the net. Cats go up 6-4 here with about 8:55 left to go in the third quarter. An incredible look from Patton to Parker as Parker was left all alone up top.
Yeah, you said it, Bennett. Jack Patton took 2 steps to his right, caught the ankles of his defender, was able to swerve back to his dominant left. Henry Parker saw the opportunity, stepped in, caught the ball, put it in the back of the net as Ruyushi's going to come out, and the Cats have a 2-goal lead for the first time today.
Cats up 6-4 here with 8:55 left to go in the third quarter. Usi back into the face-off circle. He's taking on Tessler. Tessler's gotten the better of him today. However, Usi still fighting hard, and he's got his fair share as well. Usi gets the clamp, flicks it back, and Chase Williams is fighting for this one. Ball is kicked way up high, and that looks to get into Westminster attacking area. However, Tessler is able to get back to that one before Cats can get to it. And Allatoona has possession, heading into their own side of the field. Galloway back to Hinton. Hinton with the ball on the far side. He's working on Bogus. Hits over to Gillum. Gillum. Over to Stewart. Stewart has Rain Schamberger on him, and Schamberger coming way out here to guard him. Cats playing very aggressive on defense. Ben Galloway up top. This is going to be Austin Zimbato. Zimbato takes a shot that finds the left side of the bar, left side of the crossbar, and skirts out of bounds. Galloway on the chase to retain possession for the Buccaneers. Gillum. Gillum working on Gologly. Gillum thinks about dodging from the near side. However, Gologly is able to push him off. Stewart with the ball up top. Schamberger coming way out to guard him. Stewart uses a little bit of speed, but Schamberger is still all the way with him. And Stewart is just going to slow it down and come all the way up top.
Rain Schamberger guarding the right hand of Trevor Stewart, trying to give him his left, and is able to there, as Stewart's going to take it and right into the stick of Tyler Bass Bennett. That's exactly what Rain Schamberger wanted to do. Wanted to force Stewart to his weaker hand, and a great pass there from Chase Williams.
Sam Woodhouse comes over the near side, gets over to Patton. Patton slows down, takes a rip, and that one's in the back of the net. Cats go up 3 goals here, up 7-4 with 7 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Cats with the incredible transition offense that led to a Jack Patton goal. Cats up 3.
Yeah, great shot by Jack Patton. You can't say enough about it. His ability to just go right back to his left, virtually no angle, put it right where he wanted to put it. And Rui Yusi's going to come back out for the face-off. Some incredible transition, great save by Tyler Bass. Great clear by Sam Woodhouse. And a great shot by Jack Patton. That's all around what Westminster wants to do all day long.
Usi in the face-off circle as Tesler ends up with that one. And Allatoona has the ball. That's a shot from number 18, Mike Johnson. That is just over the top crossbar. However, that's Galloway on the chase, retains possession for the Buccaneers. Hinton over to Zimbato. Zimbato to Cockrell. Cockrell over to Galloway. Ball's over to Zimbato on the far side. Zimbato to Sorrells. And Galloway back to Sorrells to X. Westminster not showing any holes here. However, Cockrell comes through the middle. However, Ben Walker on the great defense.
Yeah, great recovery there by Ben Walker.
Ball's in the middle, and that ball hits the top crossbar and bounces out. That was Mike Johnson on the shot, not able to put it in the back of the net. Zimbato picked up by Schamberger quickly, and Zimbato lays it off to Sorrells. Sorrells working on Jones. Gets a little step on him, takes a shot, but his stick goes flying in the air after a great check from Truman Jones. Ball's on the ground. Cats and Buccaneers fighting for it. Ollie Bogus ends up with it on the far side, and Bogus pulls it into the Westminster side of things. Ball tries to get it over to Fitzharris. That ball's just going to fall out of the back line, off of Bogus, so Allatoona has possession. Buccaneers bring on Gillum, and Gillum's working up the middle. Gillum over to Stewart. And Stewart, that's all the way back to Hinton from X. Ollie Bogus right there on defense. Hinton over to Brooks Gillum. Gillum guarded by Ben Walker from X. Walker trips up a little bit. Gillum finds his hole. That's Tyler Bass on the save. And he doesn't let that one go in the back of the net. And it's going to be Allatoona ball here. Ref blew a whistle after he heard a little chippiness.
Yeah, looks like they called conduct on Westminster, verbal conduct. No penalty, but it is a possession change, as Tesler going to control now, guarded by Trevor Gologly.
Tesler over to Sorrells. Sorrells back to Tesler. Tesler up top. He's picked up by Gologly and backs off. Gologly there on the defense as Tesler's not able to make anything happen. Hinton from X. Ollie box, stride for stride. Finds a cutting Galloway, and that is Tyler Bass with the incredible save.
What a save there by number 2, Tyler Bass. And Westminster's going to get the ball back. Can't say enough about the junior goalie there, as Woodhouse going to pass it up to Gologly.
Cats headed back the other way. Tyler Bass keeping the Cats solid on defense. Cats up 3, 7-4 here over the Allatoona Buccaneers with about 4 minutes left to go in this third quarter. Cats look to put another one on the board. Ball in the hands of Jack Patton. Patton over to Williams. Williams up top. Parker with the ball. Parker slows it down and waits for everyone to get back on the field as Coach Fitzharris comes on for the Cats. Fitzharris is pushed hard, and that ball finds the ground as Trent Thomas has it. And after the great check from the Allatoona defense, they're going to have possession going back the other way. Damian Hinton on the far side. Ollie Bogus there, stride for stride. And Damian Hinton not able to find his look. Carson Sorrells over to Hinton. Cannot say enough about this Westminster defense today. And Tyler Bass, especially in this third quarter. Cats have held the Buccaneers scoreless in the third quarter. And Tesla looking to change that right here for the Buccaneers. Stewart up top. Rain Schamberger on defense. Stewart thinks he has a hole, but Schamberger's able to recover. Sorrells over to Galloway. Galloway to Gillum. Gillum up top, working on Ben Walker. Gillum can't find a hole, and Ben Walker is all over him. Gillum back to Hinton. Hinton has a little bit of a stutter step, but still doesn't find his opening as Ollie Bogus has been frustrating Hinton by not giving him any looks today. Tesler from up top. Tesler takes a rip, and that is just far left. However, that's Galloway on the chase to retain possession for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, and they get a good timeout here by Allatoona, trying to regroup defensively. A great third quarter thus far, Bennett, by Westminster. A lot of time of possession. Tyler Bass has played out of this world this quarter.
2:15 left to go here in the third quarter. Cats up 3, 7-4 here at Alfred E. Thompson Stadium at Fritz Orr Field. It's a wonderful afternoon for some lacrosse, and your Westminster Wildcats are bringing it today. Strong performances on defense, and Tyler Bass making numerous saves in the goal to put the Cats up 3. On attack, Jack Patton, Logan Devereaux, Coach Fitzharris, Will Fitzharris, John Farley, Chase Williams, Henry Parker. They're all making it happen. David Vroon. Don't want to leave anybody out. This entire Cats team is making it happen. One person I'm leaving out, I got to say, is Trevor Gologly, who's been lights out on defense in this midi position.
Yeah, Trevor Gologly is a guy that doesn't get talked about as much as a lot of the other guys, but plays a crucial role defensively as a defensive midfielder for the Wildcats. He's out there right now along with John Farley. And then the 4 deep holes, Truman Jones, Grant Ainsley, Rain Schamberger, and Ollie Bogus. That strong Westminster defensive core with 2:15 left in the third and a 3-goal cushion right now.
And Ryan, one thing that has surprised me here from the Cats, and not surprised me but impressed me, is their rebound from last Tuesday's game. And I say rebound, and they won the game versus GAC. They won it 15-13, but it was a late comeback in the fourth quarter, led by Chase Williams, that they were able to get the win. However, the Cats, if you ask anybody on this team, said they did not play all out. They did not play to their hardest until the fourth quarter. They did not play team ball, as I heard many of the Westminster players quote. However, they are sure playing team ball today, as the Cats are up 3 with about 2:10 left to go here in this third quarter. Cats up 7-4. Ball's up top. That's Zimbato working on Gologly. And Zimbato finds just a hair of space, is able to take a rip on the net that finds the back of the goal. Buccaneers close this 1-2. Cats still up 7-5 here with 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter.
Not much you can do there defensively. Trevor Galogli did a good job of pushing Zambato to the outside. Just a great overhand shot to the left post area. Got past Tyler Bass. And now Westminster with a 2-goal lead as Rui Yusi going to return to the faceoff circle with Schamberger on his near side and John Farley to his left.
Usi in the face-off circle. He's working on Tesler. Usi gets the clamp, flicks it up, and he gets the ground ball. Rue Usi winning the face-off, and he lays it over to Rain Schamberger. Ball finds the ground, but Schamberger with the great rebound. However, ball finds the ground again after a great check from Griffin Kim. Ball's on the ground, and Schamberger ends up with the ball. Ball's on the ground again. A lot of fighting for this one. Jack Patton comes back.
We're going to have a timeout. Allatoona, as apparently they had possession for enough time to get a timeout. 1:45 remaining in the third, Bennett. Expect Westminster to do a couple things defensively here. You want to get the ball back, so you pressure a little bit on the clear, but then you don't want to be too aggressive defensively should Allatoona get possession in the box. You want to use some of this time off, not make any crucial mistakes, and go into the fourth quarter with a 2-goal lead.
After that hard-fought ground ball, Rain Schamberger pulls off his cap, and he's coming to the sideline. He's got a little blood on his face, but he's nodding to the crowd saying he'll be right back out there. He was fighting hard for that one. Cat's not able to come up with the possession. Seemed like the ball was more on the ground than anybody's stick. Nonetheless, Cats are up 2 here, 7-5, 1:45 left to go in this third quarter. Following the Allatoona timeout, both teams retake the field. And it's Allatoona ball right around the midline. Pardon me, they're not even going to get the ball in there at the midnight, but they are in Westminster's attack. Will Fitzharris and Jack Patton are there for the defense. And that's the long ball that tries to find number 7, Gillum.
And really
Gillum just goes for the body on Chase Williams, and Cats going to have possession.
Great clear defense by Westminster, denied any opportunities through the air.
And that's Grant Ansley to get the ball off the ground. Ansley tries to get it over to Chase Williams, but Logan Devereaux going to end up with the ball. Devereaux over to Will Fitzharris, and that one's in the back of the net. Cats put that one in the back of the net. After the Allatoona Buccaneers were just left scrambling on their heels, not able to have any sort of form of defense. And Cats take advantage of the fast break offense.
And Bennett, what it actually looked like after that big hit on Truman Jones, Allatoona's whole team actually sort of stopped for a second, stared at the hit. Meanwhile, Grant Ansley picked up the ball, passed it across the field, and was able to find the back of the net. And Westminster returns to a 3-goal lead.
Allatoona just caught watching after the big play. Cats stayed in it and were able to scramble back on offense to put it one in the back of the net. Usi, he takes defenseless, and he is on the ground, not getting up quickly. Allatoona players take a knee. Usi is a little shaken up, and he's able to stand up and walk this one off. A lot of big hits here today on Lacrosse. Coach Tony Souza arguing that some of them might not be legal.
Yeah,
you got to keep those hands close together or relatively close together.
Yeah, I think Coach Souza actually has a point on this one. That one looked like a cross check to the neck area, the upper back area. Nonetheless, they're actually going to give the ball to Allatoona, which looks baffling to the Westminster coaching staff. Nonetheless, the Buccaneers will have possession, Bennett, as Hinton is guarded by Bogus.
Tesla with the ball up top. He's over to Stewart. Stewart is now guarded by Sam Woodhouse as Rain Schamberger still on the sideline following that cut on the top of his nose. Stewart with the ball up top. Stewart, Sam Woodhouse staying stride for stride with him. John Farley comes up and thwarts any attack.
And right
Galloway going to take a shot, but Tyler Bass is all over that one. 2 saves in a row, and Cats are headed back the other way. Grant Ansley with the ball. Ansley tries to find Ben Walker. It's not a great pass, but Allatoona still has the ball. Ball's on the ground, and Ollie Boggus going to go back here with Damian Hinton and see who's going to come up with this one. Hinton.
And it looks like right now Westminster wants to play a little 5-on-5. You see number 27, Ben Walker, completely face guarding Zimbardo, denying him any opportunity to get the ball. Westminster likes their 5-on-5 matchup without Zimbardo in play, as Trevor Stewart goes to his left, guarded by Sam Woodhouse.
Stewart trying to find something happening on Sam Woodhouse. Woodhouse there, stride for stride. And Stewart, you can't do much about that one. Stewart with the incredible shot with 2.8 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Stewart went to his left, went to his right, went back to his left, and back to his right. Just looked like he was spinning in circles. However, he was fined a second, maybe even a millisecond of space.
Yeah, nothing that you can do there defensively other than give credit where credit is due to Trevor Stewart. Just an unbelievable shot. Looked like he had absolutely no space. You said it, Bennett. Right, left, and turns back to his right, able to find a tiny glimpse of space. Puts it in the top corner. Great shot, great play by Stewart. And nonetheless, the Wildcats still lead 8-6 as Reuse is going to take this face-off, likely to end the third quarter. Beg your pardon, Rain Schamberger takes it, and that'll be the end, Bennett.
That's the end of the third quarter. Cats up 2, 8-6 here, Alfred E. Thompson Stadium, Fritz Orr Field. It's the region championship, folks. And your Cats are in the driver's seat. We're going to take a break just for a quick second here and work out a little audio issues. We'll be right back with y'all. And we're back here, Alfred E. Thompson Stadium, Fritz Orr Field. I'm Ben Portion, joined alongside with Ryan Cosley. It's set up for a great last quarter of lacrosse here. Cats up 8-6. Fans from both teams on their feet, trying to get a little noise and a little energy into their team. This is the region championship.
Hey, Bennett,
the Cats are up 2.
And Bennett, if there's ever been a fourth quarter to look forward to, look no further. You hear the chants from the Allatoona fans. Westminster fans making a lot of noise. Both teams ready to go as Rue UC has Chase Williams on the short side, and to his right, Rain Schamberger. Cats will be headed towards the baseball field and the American flag for this fourth quarter.
UC fighting for this one. This one is anyone's game as Tesler ends up with this one. Tesler with the ball. Chase Williams there on defense. That's over to Hinton. Hinton back to Galloway. Galloway over to Zimbardo. Zimbardo working on Williams. Zimbardo working behind the net. Gets it over to Galloway. Galloway thinks about a shot, but that is Grant Ansley all over them. And Galloway not able to find any sort of space. Stewart backing up and gets it over to Galloway.
Rain Schamberger guarding Trevor Stewart after that incredible shot. Zimbardo's going to try to go from behind.
Zimbardo tries to go from behind, but that is Tyler Bass on the save. Bass has been lights out in goal today, folks. And Allatoona Spinning around again. Zimbardo takes another shot. This one's wide right. And Allatoona on the chase. Galloway back behind net, guarded by Ansley. He's over to Hinton, and Hinton up to Stewart up top. Stewart dodging on Schamberger. Schamberger right with him. Stewart is forced to back off again. Sorrells working on Truman Jones. Sorrells dodges, uses his body. However, ball's on the ground after a great check from Chase Williams, and Chase Williams ends up with the ground ball.
Yeah, great play by Truman Jones there. Stick checks all over Carson Sorrells. Great scoop by Chase Williams as Galogli's going to try to clear now.
Bass finds Galogli after the great pass, and Galogli working up the far side. They're going to call a ward on Trevor Galogli, and Buccaneers going to have the ball on their own side again. Zimbardo slows it down and kicks it off to Stewart. So after the great defense and transition, Trevor Galogli is called for the ward, and the Buccaneers have the ball. Galloway back behind the net, guarded by Ansley. Back over to Hinton. Hinton to Stewart. Stewart over to Zimbardo. Zimbardo dodging from up top. Chase Williams on defense. Zimbardo finds a little bit of space, takes a shot. But after the last second check from Trevor Galogli, the ball doesn't have enough to make it to the net. Sorrells over to Zimbardo. Zimbardo working on Chase Williams.
Great defense there by Chase Williams, denying Zimbardo any look at the goal.
Ball's on the ground here. Allatoona trying to pass it around, but that was just off the stick of Gillum. Gillum able to get his own dropped ball, and Gillum slows it down. Ball up top on the near side. Zimbardo dodging. Chase Williams there. Zimbardo finds a little bit, but that is Tyler Bass again on the save. Tyler Bass having an incredible day in goal. And Rain Schamberger brings it on for the Cats. Trevor Galogli over to Logan Devereaux. Devereaux over to Will Fitzharris. Will Fitzharris at X. Fitzharris slows down. Lays it off to Patton on the far side.
Right now, expect Westminster to be a little bit patient offensively. 8.5 remaining, Bennett. Don't want to make any mistakes.
Vroon finds a little bit of green space, however, he's backed off again. Farley over to Henry Parker. Parker over to Patton. Patton behind the net. Finds Farley again, and that is a great save there by number 16, Jay Melander. Farley had his shot on goal, but he's not able to make anything of it. The Buccaneers are headed back the other way. Ben Galloway with the ball. Max Coffin comes out on defense. Damian Hinton back to Galloway. That's over to Sorrells. Sorrells over to Stewart. And there's Rain Schamberger, who's been with Stewart all day, coming out to guard him. Again, pushing him to his left.
Now Ben Walker playing some great defense on Brooks Gillum.
And this ball is at X with Sorrells. Sorrells over to Hinton. Hinton over to Stewart. Stewart to Gillum. Gillum over to Sorrells. Sorrells back behind the net. That's over to Hinton on the far side. He's guarded by Bogus. Balls to Galloway. Allatoona working this little circular offense here. And Stewart has the ball up top. Stewart trying to go to his right, but Rain Schamberger is not going to let him do it. Trying to back down on Rain Schamberger and is forced to lay off as Rain Schamberger had the incredible body defense. Danny Tesla from up top. Damian Hinton over to Galloway. Galloway working on Max Coffin. Coffin not letting anything happen here. And Sorrells with the ball. Over to Tesler. Tesler working on Farley. And that ball's back to Hinton. Seems like anything Allatoona tries to get going here, Cats defense is with them stride for stride and not letting anything happen. Sorrells on the far side. He's working on Jones. Truman Jones with a big hit, not allowing Sorrells to get in. Stewart up top. Stewart over to Gillum. Gillum dodges. Ben Walker is there to regain his feet. And Gillum over to Stewart.
And there is the box warning from the official. Not allowed to move the ball outside the box now as Ben Galloway, guarded by Max Coffin. To Hinton at X, Bennett.
Hinton at X. Hinton finds a cut at Gillum. Gillum takes a shot, and that finds the back of the net. That one's hard to believe as Ben Walker seemed to be straight on the stick at Gillum. Anyways, it's in the back of the net, and that is a 1-point game now. Cats up 1, 8-7 here, 5:41 left to go in this fourth quarter. Seems like Allatoona had the ball for north of 3 minutes there, working it around. Cats defense stood strong until Gillum was able to find a sliver of space to put that one in the back of the net.
And now, Bennett, a 1-goal game. Two of the top teams in the state, under 6 minutes to go. Rue UC versus Danny Tessler in the face-off circle, as the Wildcats desperately try to hang on.
Ball is fought for. Ball's on the ground. Coming back the other way. Usi ends up with the ball. They're going to call a push there from Rain Schamberger as Tessler hits the deck. And Allatoona has the ball again on attack. Cats up 1, 8-7 here. 5:32 left to go in this fourth quarter. And Zimbato has the ball right now. Zimbato over to Johnson. Johnson to Sorrells. Sorrells back to Johnson. Ball's up top to Johnson. Zimbato with the ball. Zimbato takes a shot, but that is Rain Schamberger on the great trail check. And that ball strolls out of bounds. Galloway on the chase, and that's over to Hinton. Hinton hits the stick, and Ollie Bogus is there to pick up the ground ball. However, Bogus kicks it straight into Galloway's stick. And Cockrell has the ball on the near side. He's working on Williams. Cockrell slows it down over to Hinton. And Zimbato gets it over to Johnson. Johnson takes a shot, and that's not going to be close. However, Galloway is on the chase, and the Buccaneers retain possession. This Cats defense standing in strong.
Yeah, Bennett under 4.5 remaining now. The 6 defensively for Westminster. Chase Williams, Truman Jones, Trevor Galogli, Rain Schamberger, Ollie Bogus, and Sam Woodhouse. As what a shot by Danny Tessler to tie the game.
Game is tied. 8-8, 4:12 left to go in the fourth quarter. Danny Tessler puts that one in the back of the net. A tied game here. Allatoona battles back 3 scores to tie this one up here, 8-8 in the fourth quarter. 4:12 left to go. This game is set up to be a great one here at Fritz Orr Field. Rue Usi in the face-off circle. Danny Tessler having his way in the last 2 ones. And they're going to call an illegal face-off there from Danny Tessler, and Cats going to have the ball. First time they've had possession in a bit. And Coach Tony Souza is going to call a timeout after it seems like the last 4 minutes has been all Buccaneers ball. So Souza going to talk it over with his team, draw up a play here on offense, and put one in the back of the net for the Cats.
Bennett, a vitally important timeout here for Coach Tony Souza. He is talking to his offense right now, going to try to control the ball for a little bit most likely, but definitely don't try to make any mistakes. As with 4:05 remaining, tie game against the Allatoona Buccaneers, with the momentum completely in favor in the direction of Allatoona. Westminster's going to need a very, very good offensive possession to combat this run.
Game tied, 8-8, 4:05 left to go in this fourth quarter. It is set to be a great one here. And the Cats attack takes the field. John Farley. Logan Devereaux goes out to get the ball. David Vroon. Jack Patton. Will Fitzharris and Henry Parker are your 6 on attack for the Cats. And Logan Devereaux has the ball up top. 4:05 left to go in this fourth quarter and left to go in this game. Devereaux over to Farley. Farley to Patton. Patton to Fitzharris. Fitzharris to X. Fitzharris back to Patton. Patton working on Romans. That's over to Parker. Parker to Vroon. Vroon going to dodge from up top. Not able to get any space, but over to Fitzharris. To Patton. Patton takes a shot, and that is straight into the stick of Jay Melander. Jay Melander with the great save as Patton had a good look on net there.
Here's an opportunity for Allatoona to take a lead on Westminster, should this clear allow it. As Danny Tesler touches it in the box, and Westminster's going to have to set up defensively in order to stop the surging Buccaneers right now.
Ben Galloway behind the net. He just rolls this one over to Stewart. And Stewart over to Gillum. Hinton with the ball. Hinton working on Bogus. Gets this run over to Galloway. Galloway to Sorrells on the far side. He's got Truman Jones on him. Sorrells works this one into the middle. However, Truman Jones is step for step with them. Sorrells takes a shot at the back of the net. Low to low. Finds the back of the net. And the Cats are down 1. 9-3 here. 2:39 left to go.
And it looks like Coach Tony Sousa is going to bring up the Duke commit senior Rain Schamberger for the most crucial face-off of the game thus far in the region championship. Schamberger will have Williams to his left and Farley to his right.
Cats haven't been down since the second quarter. Pardon me, the first quarter. And Cats looking to come back here, down 1, 9-8, 2:39 left to go. Cats fans on their team, on their feet. Tesler gets the face-off. However, Rain Schamberger is able to scramble back on defense. Ball hits the ground, and Ansley picks it up. Ansley over to Williams, and Williams is headed back the other way.
Great fast break opportunity here, Bennett.
Williams takes a shot, and that is saved by Melander. Ball's on the ground. Cats trying to get it and put it one in the back of the net. 2:18 left to go here. This is urgent. However, timeout from Coach Sousa, and Cats retain possession.
Yeah.
Cats down 1, 9-8 here. 2:17 left to go in this game, and the Cats need to put one in the back of the net, Ryan.
Yes, they do. Down 9-8. Like you said, 2:17 remaining. Still a ton of time. This is lacrosse. Things can happen very, very quickly. But it looks like Coach Tony Sousa is going to talk to the attackmen and midfielders that are on the field alone right now. That is Jack Patton. From where I'm standing, it looks like that will be Jack Patton, Logan Devereaux, David Vroon, John Farley, Will Fitzharris,
And Henry Parker.
Those are the 6 standing there with Coach Tony Sousa. Head coach and offensive specialist on this coaching staff. There's a lot of options in those group of 6 guys. And we'll see what Coach Sousa wants to pull out of the bag here with 2:17 remaining.
Cats take the field. Buccaneers take the field. It's set up to be a great 2 minutes left to go in this game. Cats down 1. 9-8 left to go. It's the region championship. 1-2 in region in Georgia 5A Area 2. Patton with the ball on the far side. He's over to Farley. Farley over to Vroon. Cats with some obvious urgency in their throws.
David Vroon.
Vroon has there's a credible
violent
check on
and
him.
there the late flag flies. Westminster fans are going to be happy about that.
Patton on the far side. He's going to look to put one in the back of the net. And Patton is slowed down.
Opportunity here with a delayed penalty, Jack Patton.
And that ball hits the ground. And they call it
30 seconds only, Bennett. 1:46 remaining. And right now, there you go. The 6 are set. It'll be Devereaux, the Fitzharris twins, John Farley, Jack Patton, and Chase Williams, the architect of the comeback on Tuesday night. And the ball will start to the goalie's left in the stick of number 13, Jack Patton.
Patton with the ball on the far side. Runs it in here for the Cats. Over to Fitzharris. Fitzharris back to Patton. Patton back to Fitzharris. Over to Devereaux. Devereaux to Williams. Williams over to Fitzharris. Fitzharris over to Patton. Patton takes a shot, and that is saved by Milando. Straight back into the stick of Logan Devereaux. Cats still man up. Back to Devereaux. Devereaux to Patton. Patton thinks about a shot, gets it over to Fitzharris. Fitzharris at X. Devereaux from up top. He takes a shot, and that one's in the back of the net. Cats tie this one up 9-9 here with 1:17 left to go in this game. It's electric here at Alfred E. Thompson Stadium. Fritz Orr Field. Cats score on the man-up opportunity.
Yeah, Bennett, what a shot. Unbelievable, and it looks like Rains Schamberger, the Duke commit, going to come up. Exact same scenario as the last time. Williams to his left, John Farley to his right. 1:17 remaining.
Game is tied at 9-9 here. 1:17 left to go in the game. Schamberger in the face-off circle.
Face-off.
He's going off against Danny Tesler. Tesler having his way with most of these possessions. However, he gets this one. Cats still fighting back. Ball's on the ground. Farley fighting for this one. Ball ends up in the stick of number 33, Trent Thomas. And Buccaneers have the ball on their own side. Thomas backs off. Tesler thought he had an opportunity there, but Chase Williams able to scramble back. 57 seconds left to go. Game tied, 9-9. Gillum with the ball. Gillum over to Hinton. Hinton drops it, but picks it back up. He's guarded by Ollie Bogus.
Westminster not playing too aggressively, not challenging the ball with crazy urgency right now, trying to force Allatoona to make a mistake.
Hinton almost makes a mistake there, tries to get it over to Stewart. There's 36 seconds left to go in this game. Game tied, 9-9. Buccaneers with the ball. There's Sorrells on the far side, guarded by Truman Jones. Sorrells trying to find anything happening, but Truman Jones is with him stride for stride. Stewart up top.
Rain Schamberger's going to guard him. Try to set a pick on him. Good job by Chase Williams communicating with Rain Schamberger there.
And Damian Hinton on the near side.
15
seconds left to go. Ben Galloway, guarded by Grant Ansley. Galloway over to Sorrell. Sorrell's over to Stewart. There are 7 seconds left in this game, and it's going to be Stewart on Schamberger. Schamberger gets the save. Chase throws it onto the other side of the field, and that's going to be the end of regulation. Game tied up at 9-9. Your Westminster Wildcats take it on the Allatoona Buccaneers in the region championship.
Yeah, great defense there, and especially the communication between Chase Williams and Rain Schamberger. Allatoona tried about 3 times to get Stewart open from the top. Rain Schamberger and Chase Williams able to talk it up, not allowing any picks to be set, and forcing overtime.
And Ryan, let me just throw a little stat at you. Last night, Pope High School took on Lassiter High School, and it went into 8 overtimes. The game lasted 3 hours and 56 minutes. And it looks like that could be a possibility. We hope not.
And we do hope not. By my watch, game started at 1. It's currently 2:42. And with the frequency with which these teams are scoring today, probably unlikely that we go through 8 overtimes. But nonetheless, The captains at the center are Danny Tessler and Chase Williams.
Game is tied up at 9 here.
Obviously, you got to think about the face-off matchup to start this overtime. No doubt for Allatoona, it'll be Tessler. And we'll see who Souza sends out. Rue Yusi is going to the center. And it will be Yusi. It looks like Chase Williams is going to head to the substitution box. Rain Schamberger is going to be to UC's right, Bennett. And John Farley will be to his left. And Bennett, you can feel the energy in this stadium.
Rue Usi in the face-off circle. He's on Danny Tessler. It's been Tessler and Usi. And Rue Usi has the clamp. Usi headed back the other way. He's checked. And they're going to call it Westminster ball. Tony Souza is able to call the timeout. And Cats have the ball.
And Bennett,
it's first overtime here. Game tied at 9. 3:55 left to go in this first overtime.
And Bennett, I do not suspect that that was spontaneous. I bet that Coach Souza thought in his mind that the moment that Westminster got possession, he was going to call timeout. With the amount of loose balls that we've had today. Great timeout there by Coach Souza. 3:55 in the overtime. It will be Westminster possession.
Yes, what's up? Yeah, later. This game is in overtime. What do you mean why? So if you have to announce this game.
And Bennett, it looks like the 6 on the field for Westminster. Chase Williams, David Vroon, Will Fitzharris, Logan Devereaux, John Farley, and Jack Patton. And it will be Williams to start with it.
Farley with the ball. Near side. Farley. Patton. Patton over to Devereaux. Devereaux to Williams. Williams back to Farley. Farley. He's going to work. Over to Patton. Patton at X. Westminster working around this attack. Devereaux takes a shot and it just goes wide left. However, it's Will Fitzharris there on the chase to retain possession here for the Cats.
Good decision by Logan Devereaux. Great shot choice. Knew he had Will Fitzharris to back him up. As Vroon's going to control it up top in the 2-3-1 offense.
Vroon has it on the far side. He's guarded by Carter. Vroon takes a jog almost all the way around this attack, and he's at X. Vroon going to dodge from behind. He's working on Carter. Vroon finds some space, finds Logan Devereaux. Devereaux takes a shot, and that one's in the back of the net.
That's the game. Wow, what a feed by David Vroon to find Logan Devereaux. And you see the defenseman find Tyler Bass. Westminster, the celebration is on. Hard-fought game on both sides. And you couldn't have asked for a better play if you're Coach Tony Souza. David Vroon taking 2 steps to his left, draws the defense, finds Logan Devereaux, bounce shot into the net.
And Cats win this one in overtime. Your final score, 10-9. Cats fought hard against Allatoona Buccaneers. It was the region championship, and your Cats are region champions. After winning this one 10-9. Hard-fought game all around. Incredible job by Tyler Bass in goal. The defense, the middies, the offense. It was a team-played game today. As hands are shook. And Cats come home with the victory.
Yeah, what a great game on both sides. You got to credit Allatoona. Give credit where credit is due. What a game by them. Just able to close out a Westminster 3-goal lead in the middle of that third quarter. Took the lead 9-8. And then some great plays by Westminster down the stretch and in the overtime. Able to get the victory. 10-9 is the final, Bennett.
And that's going to be it here from Alfred E. Thompson Stadium at Fritz Orr Field. Cats come home with a win over the Allatoona Buccaneers. After one overtime, your Cats proved victorious, winning 10-9. Cats moved to 16-2 on the season. Pardon me, 14-2 on the season. And look to continue their quest towards a state championship. That's it for us here at Alfred E. Thompson Stadium, Fritz Orr Field. Cats win 10-9. I'm Bennett Porson with Ryan Costley, signing off for our entire WCAT crew, and go Cats.